Started. Oh, hi. Hi, everybody. Thanks for jumping on tonight. We're excited to have you on and excited for you to hear more about Instagram and how to make this work for your business. So, we're excited to introduce you to Lee and to Kayla, and they have been gracious to hop on tonight and share with us how to take your business to the next level. I am not familiar with Instagram, only Facebook. Uh-oh, did it just mute me?
You're good.
No, I'm still going. Okay, I'm sorry. All of a sudden, I saw this like microphone that looked muted, and I was like, "I'm talking and no one can hear me." Oh, that's right. You're at my. Okay, sorry. Anyway, I'm excited to hear from you guys because I literally do not know anything about Instagram and have a lot to learn. So we're just going to go ahead and hand it over to you guys, and we'll go from there. So, Jen, if you'll mute, are you able to mute everybody out but the speaker? I don't know how to. Oh, never mind. I can mute myself out. Okay. Lee, do you want to get started?
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much, Joy. This is so awesome and such an honor. And so Kayla and I are just so excited to start sharing with you guys about Instagram. So my kind of biggest takeaway from it and I just wanting to share with you guys would be, I mean, just like showing you the ways about how like the hashtags work and things like that, and then ways to actually edit your profile. And Kayla is actually the queen of Instagram, and she was actually before Plexus. So I will just be chatting for a little bit, and then I'll pass it on to Kayla. So I'm going to share the screen, and I apologize. I have a touch screen computer, and for some reason the screen pops up like I have to like scroll it over if I click on something, so I apologize. So first and foremost, this is actually the first time that I've ever logged into my Instagram from my computer. Typically, I didn't even know that you really could do that, because again, everything I do is on my phone. So again, everything kind of really looks the same compared to your phone versus the computer. The only biggest difference that I have found is, so let me go to like Kayla's page. So what I found is you actually cannot message people from your computer on Instagram. So obviously from your phone you can, and I like to utilize that. I don't know if you guys will be able to see my phone to show you that. You see what I say? I'm gonna have to like scroll over every time. There we go. There's Kayla. Isn't her page so pretty? That's so perfect. Amazing. So normally it says obviously that you're following them, but then it also should give you an option to message them. So I don't know if you guys can, yeah. So there's at the top right there. So right here where it says following on my computer, it should say message on your phone. And so that would be the way to whenever I make a post that I go through, and then anybody who likes my post or comments, and if I don't know them, it's something to where that I just go to it right away and just message them, you know, hey, thanks so much for the support. And then obviously just like Facebook and everything else, to where we always want to try to lead with the relationship. Obviously, unless if they are direct, like, hey, I want to try Plexus, which one of my posts, again, I know, so because we all have been sharing joy on like crazy. And I've really been trying to be better of not having the salesy stuff on here. I mean, you guys know all that stuff. That's all the same as Facebook. So with this one, I had people, this girl, I'd been talking to her forever. She is in the fitness world. She just moved actually to Scottsdale. So I was like, you get to go to corporate whenever you want if you get to. But so she's always been like, thanks, but I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. And then immediately with this post, she wanted to try it. So I'm sure you guys have had a lot of success, you know, with other people, you know, trying to get them like, okay, like we should, you know, try something else. And I'm just really hoping that that's working for everyone. So obviously the way that we post on Instagram has a lot of the same styles as Facebook, because again, the whole math problem of the way that it works is essentially kind of the same. Again, I don't know like the like exact scientific details behind it all, but so the biggest thing with Instagram versus Facebook is the hashtags, and then putting the hashtags. You want to put your hashtags ideally in the comments, and about 7 to 30. Let's see if I even did one yesterday on my Joyome. So yes, well this one I did not do it on my comments. So again, Kayla could probably touch a little bit more on that if she understands the whole science behind it. So I said about hashtags. And so going into it, obviously gut health, if you click on gut health, it will pull up 5 million different other hashtags that, again, other people have done, which is great. But in the big scheme of things, it's actually just 1 million, so not as much as I had thought, to where it would essentially be probably not in your best interest, because if people are typing in gut health, then you're thrown in again with another 1 million people posting about gut health. So what I found is doing like healthy gut. I mean, like, you can search any kind of tags, which I haven't been able to search on here too good. Let's type in healthy gut and see what pulls up. And the cool thing is, because all these other things pop up, and so the top one here for healthy gut only has 209,000 posts. This one that's healthy guts only has 6,000 posts. So then if you can kind of throw in a mixture of the both whenever you're doing your hashtags, I feel like you have a better shot of actually getting out there more, and then for people that are searching for stuff. And again, I don't know why it's not letting me click follow. So again, on Facebook, that's a way that, that we go through and then search for, different testimonials with Plexus or whatever. We can go through it that way, or up in the search bar. But with Instagram, again, I don't know why. So typically right over here, get my arrow. So typically right here, it'll say follow the hashtag, or you can follow the person. So ideally, we want to keep our followers, just like Facebook, not at a crazy amount. I have been trying to go through mine. It's at like 4,000 something. So I have a lot of work to do. So let's see, I only have 1,455 followers and I follow 4,400. So not a good ratio, which I'm working on. But so then again, too, whenever you are clicking on those hashtags and things like that, you can just follow those hashtags and then not the actual person. So it keeps your followers down. And then back to the Joyome post, obviously throwing in the emojis, and then putting in the little dots or the lines, which Kayla's really good, and I've started to do it as well. If you have kind of a longer post, whenever you're breaking up your paragraphs or your few sentences, you kind of go through and just put a little hyphen there to kind of break it up. Another thing, so again, like Facebook and then Instagram is to where we want to keep 3 things in mind. And so we want to keep it obviously about our healthy lifestyle and gut health, whether if it's your kids, joy with your cooking, wine, traveling, food, like whatever it is you really want to kind of just stick to those 3 things whenever you're posting, which is, kind of like Facebook in the same sense. Again, Kayla's, as you saw, is a lot more colorful and like a more of a certain color scheme. Again, she'll touch base on that, but that's like the whole like blogging world and how that, people are just attracted to certain colors and things like that. Again, that's all stuff that So more here on the actual page, which would be my page. So I do Casey Health Nut is my name, but people can still see my name to whichever way that they want to search through that. So obviously my 3 things is I'm a happy wife, boy mom, and a health and happiness coach, and just put in a few other things. I should really probably clean this up. So right here is a link. So you can typically put, obviously don't put your website there because that's being salesy. I did when I very first started Plexus, as we know that's a big no-no. So here you can edit it. And so yesterday I had put in, it was like 10 signs about us aging poorly from Dr. Axe. So I go through and change it every other day, sometimes maybe just like 3 times a week. And so then people can click on that directly, because obviously with the comments on Instagram, people can comment as they want to with it, but you actually can't link another site in the comments on Instagram. So like on Facebook, how it will link from there, and then you can click on it and it takes you away from Facebook. The only way, again, that I have found is to just put it here in your website. So again, so you can put as much info as you want people to know. And I recently actually just changed my profile to public. I have my Facebook one on public. Sorry, before I go any further, do you guys have any questions about this or the website or anything I've said? All good? Okay, stop me at any time.
Hey, Lee, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Okay, why did you go public?
On here?
Yeah, and Facebook.
Well, with Facebook, I mean, obviously, like, if it's like certain stuff with my kids, I don't make it always public. I just do it for my friends. I think it was just more for the exposure, kind of like with like the hashtags and things, being the same thing as with the Instagram, is, so people can maybe find things that they're looking for in the same way. But obviously, and so then I don't know with Instagram. I haven't looked because I just always have my profile set to public. But again, on Facebook, you can pick, actually right before you post, and it should say if you want, public, friends only, or private, as to how that you would share that. But Instagram, I haven't found another way other than you're either public or you're private, and then people have to request to follow you, which I was request to follow forever until I actually started a new bar class, and I loved it so much. And the girl, I was like, we should do a giveaway together, and she's like, okay. So again, this is something that that Kayla has also done personally out of her own funds. But so we just did a little thing together. And whoa, what did I just do? Sorry. That was not good. Not what I wanted to do. Okay, so obviously I had to open up my Instagram account to being public, so that way people could just come in right away, follow me, and start to comment on it. And so with that, and then even still 2 weeks later, I actually keep it open to public, and so then people can just start to follow me that way, and it's actually helped me to be able to connect to people. I feel like maybe because these people do have so many more followers, and then to where like that they're more open to actually like commenting on my post. I mean, like a lot of them are like, I love this is so great. Again, whatever post it is, obviously for Plexus. And so then I just messaged them, again, something general and more. I actually just messaged another girl today because she commented a heart or something on mine. And what did I say to her? I just said, hi, Shannon, thanks so much for the support. And I love everything that you do. And I love to connect with like-minded, amazing people. So, maybe she'll respond, maybe she won't. But so if you can ever partner with somebody, it was just a really cool experience, and just getting to know other people in the community that, again, I probably would not have gotten to meet. Let me see what else I had. Oh, I wanted to talk about the stories. So the stories are like the same as they are on your Facebook, to where you can actually do, whenever you make a post, you can connect it to your stories, even on Facebook, and they only last for 24 hours. The cool thing is, if you notice all right here, so I obviously documented all of my New York. I've done a Joy-On one, opening up, the new Slim, family stuff, gut health, and then food stuff. So again, you can actually save all that stuff. So here's mine. I don't know if that's forward. Yeah, and so then it tells you I'd kill a wasp today. That was a lot of fun. So again, I just use it just to document everything in my life. Why isn't it pulling up? But you can usually click on to see who all has viewed it. And then I message people that way as well. So then this one was a post that was going around about motivation for Plexus. So I just broke it down, but I still saved it to my highlights. I don't know why it's not showing up on here, but it does on my phone. So then that way people can always go back to it, even whenever this stuff is past 24 hours. So I feel like that's all I kind of had, because I wanted Kayla to talk more.
Okay, Lee, I have a quick question for you.
Yes.
So on the stories versus Instagram versus Facebook, are both of them just for 24 hours unless you save them?
Yes, correct. But I don't think on Facebook you can save them to a highlight yet. I mean, obviously, I'm sure it's going that way because Mark Zuckerberg owns both of them. So, but I haven't messed around too much with the Facebook stories, and that's kind of another big thing, because obviously I think in the 2.5 years of me sharing Plexus, I did day one. I think I've maybe missed one day actually sharing something gut health, Plexus related, whatever it is. And so I haven't really dug too much into the Facebook stories, but I had actually told Joy this today. I don't know why, to whenever I kind of shifted a lot more of my messaging and then time of, making all of this up and everything to the Instagram world, it just seemed a lot less scary to me, obviously, just to reach out to strangers, because I feel like if maybe on Facebook, because, like we're all friends with our parents and everybody else, and it's like, oh, like they're gonna, hate me or not respond. But for some reason on Instagram, it's like I just don't care. Like if they don't message me back, which on Facebook I don't either. Obviously, being 2.5 years into my journey, that's changed, but that's just kind of how I feel. So again, you just have to, kind of throw yourself into it if you want to, and definitely always, message me. I'm always happy to help, and Kayla as well. So if you guys have any more questions for me, I'd love for you guys to hear from Kayla. I don't want to take up too much more time. So I will pass it on to Kayla. She is amazing and a rock star. And I don't know. Oh, Kayla, one thing. Do you want me to keep up my screen and then just use like your page to show people stuff?
If you want to, whatever works.
Yeah, whatever you, I didn't know if you wanted to show people.
Whatever works.
It wants to be slow.
And I'm not like that amazingly big queen. I don't have like 1 million followers, but I feel like it's not really about like how many followers you have as much as just keeping your funnel full. And I think Instagram is a really good tool for that. Because I'm not a blogger. I'm a full-time interior architect. I do not have time to be a blogger. But I started the Plexus products because I did have a lot of health issues, and finally I just threw in the towel. It's like, okay, let me try this stuff. If it sucks, I'll just get my money back. And now here I am. I'm like obsessed with it. I think every single person needs it. So this has kind of been my outlet of sharing it. But jumping into sharing it originally, I was like, I literally cannot stand those girls on Facebook that share like those It Works wraps and like those glitter graphics. And I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to do this without like making everybody think that I'm like that? So I kind of studied it a little bit before I dove in, and I just didn't want to look like a sales ad. So I kind of flipped a little bit more to like acting like a blogger, but just implementing that attraction marketing. So ever since I've gotten started, I've never ever mentioned the word Plexus. I've never shared anything with a Plexus logo. I'm really just trying to like make my lifestyle appear in a way that's going to want people to want what I have. And that sounds kind of bad, but at the same time, that's how you do attraction marketing on the internet. You just have to make it look like something like I want what that girl has, kind of. So that was the approach that I took with it, and I just branded myself kind of like what Lee was saying on just a couple different things. So my things, I'm a dog mom. I focus on gut health and nutrition and fitness. And then sometimes in my stories, I'll share about design or what I have going on at work, or if my boyfriend and I are out like grabbing a drink, I'll put that on my stories as well, just to show I'm like a normal, balanced human. I'm not a salesperson. I'm your friend who has something that's worked for me that I really think could work for you. So that's my approach with that. And I just kind of keep in mind, like, what would I want to see? Because I don't want to see those salesy, glittery graphics. So what would I want to see pop up? What would I be drawn to? So I take the approach of like an influencer. I don't even say like network marketing or blogger. I just say influencer, and I feel like that's kind of the trendy word right now. So that's what I refer to myself as on Instagram. I have some notes here just because I didn't want to like mess anything up. Oh, I think you got a little into like the algorithm a little bit, Lee. Like you don't understand the technicality behind Instagram. I don't think anybody does, but one thing I've noticed that really helps boost your photos to the top of people's feeds is within the first hour, like however many likes and comments that you get on it. Um, so whenever I post a post, typically it'll be more kind of like a blog. In the comments, it'll have a lot of good beefy information. But then I will post on my story, hey, I just made a new post, check it out here. 30 seconds catches their attention and they know where to go if they want to read more. So I keep my stories to about a 15 to 30-second glance, and then when I'm posting on my post, I give them the beef of the information there. Just because, like I said, I'm not a blogger, so I try to like still get a lot of good information out, but I'm not gonna like redirect them away from my page to do that. Another thing I love about the Instagram stories is the polls option, which I don't think Lee talked about a lot. So if you're putting up a story on Instagram, there's a little button you can click that's a poll. So you can do things like yes and no answers. I always keep mine really positive and in my favor when I'm doing those. I'm trying to think of an example of one I've done recently.
You had a good one. Again, they're so much fun to do. And it was like, again, related obviously to Plexus, but again, you never said the word and you were like, what did you say?
I had one about allergies that was really good.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so I'll use that example. So on my allergies post, I had a video of my car like covered in pollen. And I'm like, is anybody else dying from their allergies right now? Like usually whenever this is happening, I am like eyes full and closed, can't breathe, miserable. But for some reason this year, I think it's the supplements that I'm taking. I'm not that bad. And I think it's because they're balancing my blood sugar, blah, blah, blah. And then I put a poll at the end. I'm like, are your allergies super bad right now? And then one of the buttons was like, oh my gosh, I'm dying. And the other button was like, I need info on what you have. And then either way that people click, I can still message them. It's not yes and no, because then if you're like reaching out to your no people, I feel like that's kind of awkward. So on the buttons on my polls, I always stay like positive and in my favor. And typically on those, I'll get like 40 to 70 people. And that's just how I'm keeping my funnel full. And that goes to show that you don't need a lot of followers to fill up that funnel of people to start connecting with. So I really like the polls. And another question that you guys asked was why have a public profile? Because if you're hashtagging things on a private profile, you're not going to show up. So it's kind of like I'm treating this like my business. I want my door to my business to be open to everyone, not just my friends and family, because that can only get me so far. So that's kind of how I view being public. And I'm just looking at it as more of a business. I'm not really posting a lot of pictures of me and my boyfriend, even though I love him. It's just like sticking to my brand. So yeah. And then I wrote down a couple apps that I use. Like I said, I work full time and I'm super busy. So I plan out all my content on Sundays through an app called Planoly. It's Planoly, Planoly. And that also gives me the advantage of seeing how everything's going to lay out and how it's going to visually appear when somebody falls on my page. So that helps too, and it just notifies me at 8:30 every night, like your post is ready, and then you just click it and you move on with your life, and it's done. So yeah, Planoly and then Snapseed I use to edit, and that's about it. I think that's kind of what I've got. Do you have any questions about any of it? Anybody that's on here?
I think there's one thing that I was kind of like fumbling around in the.
Well, is this my connection that's bad, or are you breaking
No, it's
up?
Joy. Or I'll text her.
Sorry.
It's her, not you. Don't worry.
Oh, and I always write the captions for my photos in the Notes app first, because that helps you break it into like more paragraphs, because you can't do that in actual Instagram. So side note, I just thought of that. Write it in the Notes app and then copy and paste it into your post, I would suggest. And then for everything Plexus I share, I probably do like 5 things that aren't, but they're still related to my brand. So dog or gut health, nutrition, fitness. And that's how I work it in.
All right, now you can ask her.
Hi guys, are you there? Sorry, my phone died.
You're home now.
Like, is it yours or me?
No, it's me. It's been a hell of a night so far, although I had a very good meal.
We're a little jelly.
Okay, so I think one of the questions I've got is like on Instagram, like I see a lot of people do photos and then I see a lot of people do quotes. Like there's some woman that's got like, I don't know, 5,000 followers with just like putting up quotes every day. Like, I see you interject that though. So like you just kind of pick like two things that you focus on. Like, there's no rhyme or reason with, I guess I bring this up because there's no rhyme or reason with what I'm doing on Facebook. I'm literally, prior to Plexus, you guys, I didn't post at all. Okay. So now it's like, when I started, Emily said, okay, you need to at least post once a day, a personal post, and then once a day, a Plexus post. Whereas Instagram now is becoming more of a personal site to draw them to your Facebook site to see more about Plexus. Is that kind of what you're doing? Because Kayla, you talked a little bit about how you don't mention Plexus at all, but
no.
you talk about the supplement component.
Yep, I say I am an influencer for a supplement or a wellness line is usually like how I say it. And the reason that you do that is because then people want to know what you have so bad that they have to ask you, and there's another potential. Like,
So
that's how I approach it.
Okay, so do you find they message you, or do they comment more?
They'll message occasionally, they'll comment occasionally. You'll just have to like kind of keep checking back on your photos, but you'll get notified if they'll message or comment you. The one thing that keeps my funnel so full is those polls, though. They're just so easy and brainless to click on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's just what I've had success with, but a combination of the three. Yeah, because some people will be like, okay, fine, you finally got me. Like, what's this pink drink? I have to ask because I can't figure it out. So, yeah, that's just how I do it. How long that's going to last for me, I don't know, because people are going to start to realize that it's Plexus, but I feel like I'm going to take advantage of the attraction marketing for as long as I can.
Okay.
Well, it'll always work definitely with the polls, because again, the more that you have the different hashtags and things like that, because everybody is searching social media for something because everybody's suffering. And so then Kayla's going to pop up, Joy will pop up. I mean, you know, obviously just doing the polls, in which I even saved, like during whenever I opened up like my Joy on, like I even saved some of those polls. So I don't know, can people go back and vote on that, or does that just end after 24 hours? Or if maybe like people see it, they're like, oh, I do want to know. Like, that was kind of like my whole thought behind that, was like, if it's still there and people see it, then they're like, ooh, okay. So
yeah, they're linked on your highlights. They can still vote. So go back and check them every now and then. But
okay, yeah, no, I will for
get
sure.
like a lot of new hits, but you may be surprised by one or two.
Yeah.
So is the story and the highlight the same thing?
Yes.
So if you have a story up
We don't.
that you want to stay up for more than 24 hours, you can link it to your highlights. And that's just a little button in the lower right-hand corner of the story that you post. It's really easy to find.
So
And then
you'd have to go into the story and then click it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then your question about adding in quotes, sorry, this is kind of a regression. I have a friend who's a very big blogger here in town, and I actually talked about that with her. And she's like, people want to see your face. It is a statistic that your posts will get 37% more engagement when your face is part of it. So sometimes I do the quotes just because I'm like, oh, I need to post something. I haven't taken a cute picture of myself. Like, I need to share something. And people do like the inspirational, like motivational, and it looks pretty on your page. But as far as like putting your face in it versus a quote, like put your face in it all day long. People want to see you.
Always, always, always.
Yeah. So that's that too.
You're the best, girl.
I've studied it a lot.
Yeah.
Now the business just has to explode, right?
Yeah.
So literally 30, you said 37%?
Yes, I believe that's the statistic. 37% more engagement when your face is in your photo versus when it's not. I'm 99% sure that's the number.
Is there a statistic on engagement versus story versus post? Because sometimes I'm confused on when it should be like a video, if you will, versus still photo.
What do you mean? Like video of yourself on your story, or?
Yes. Yeah.
I do that like maybe once a week. It just depends on what you're feeling.
Yeah. And Joy, and it might be something to where even, you know, whenever like you make whatever Plexus post, and no matter like that would be something to where like maybe like you just like go like real quick and to just tell them, you know, about that and just be like, hey, like this was on my heart today and I just really wanted to share it with you guys. So make sure you check it out, or, whatever you want to say to them.
Okay.
I feel like I do videos when I feel like I really need to like explain myself, and I just have something that's just like eating my mind away that I just want to pour out to people.
Yeah.
Then I'll video myself and I'll put it on my stories.
Okay.
And those are linked on my highlights if you want examples. Lee probably has some too, but
Okay.
they're rare because I don't know. I just don't want to like bombard my people with me like blah 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 all the time. I want like whatever I'm sharing with them to just be quick and very like effectively helpful to them.
Well,
Yeah.
it's funny because I was talking to a neighbor the other day and we were talking about Plexus. She's like, oh, I've got a friend who does Plexus on Instagram. And I was like, oh, great. Who is it? And she's like, oh, I don't really know her. She lives up in New York.
See, there you go.
What? And all of a sudden they're good friends. And I'm like, you know each other, but she lives in New York. But it's like Instagram has this amazing connection for them.
Right. It really does.
It really,
That's
really does.
Another thing I wrote down, like when your funnel is full, I try to schedule somebody once a week for a happy hour. Like even if I don't know them off of Instagram, go meet them in real life, because you're connecting with people who are very similar and like-minded to you. And I've made some super cool friends and connections just from Instagram. It's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
There was another girl that was telling me like she's been in a book club for the past 5 years with 4 women all over the United States. They don't know each other.
Wow, that's so cool.
Isn't that cool? And I'm like, I'm mind blown. I had no idea the same.
Yeah, that's really cool. Oh, and to second on what Kayla said, obviously whenever like you are like reaching out to like total strangers and then you're connecting and again like getting out in the community with them. Again, I have made a handful of friends too, and I've actually probably gotten like 5 customers that way. So just never know.
An endless pot. Like when you think about how big the entire world is, and like everybody has Instagram,
So big.
it just like goes on forever. Like one day I was kind of at a wall of who I needed to talk to. So I got on my favorite athletic wearers page, went to their followers, followed a ton of people, and just started reaching out. And like from them, I got on more pages and more pages and more pages. And I was finding people who were interested in health and fitness in the same athletic gear that I was. And it just like could seriously go on forever.
Crazy.
Yeah. So
you guys, thank you. This has been, this is so much information, but I appreciate it because I started on Facebook and that's all I know. And I have an Instagram account and I don't even know how to tell people to utilize it. So,
well, of course, anytime we love to talk about this. No, but we should just get together for a happy hour and then we can actually show you more on your phone. Because again, doing it on your computer, because I feel like that's like my mom. She's like, I'm on Instagram. And I'm like, no, you're not. But of course, she's like, well, I've seen all your pictures. So again, you can view things, but again, you can't be as active because again, like you can't post from your computer to Instagram. It can only be from your phone. So that's
I would love that. Let's do a happy hour.
Okay.
Just follow us too. Like I have people that I see something they do and I just message them like, how did you do that? Mm-hmm. And so if you see something that Lee or I do, just send us a quick message like, hey, how'd you do that? And then we'll tell you. Yeah. So it's not a big secret. Once you get it once, you'll run with it. It's really easy. So.
Okay. No, that's awesome. Julie, I saw you hopped on. Are there any questions you may have for them? She may be running around, not to put her on the spot. So. Hi.
Yay! Yeah, I've been around. No, I think I keep hearing the same kind of stuff as I've watched some trainings. It's still very foreign to me. I need to play with it more.
Yes, very foreign. And I'm seeing more and more people gain customers and ambassadors with Instagram. And so that's why thank you very much for hopping on, because this could open a whole new world for everybody's team.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It'll be huge. It'll be huge. And honestly, again, like don't ever be intimidated by it. Like I like to think of it as when I first got this phone, I had no idea what a smartphone was. I went up from like my Razor phone and I was like, what the hell is this? Like, what am I supposed to do with this? So it's essentially like Instagram is the same thing. That's all it is again, just, like messing around with it and just figuring it out. And again, if you post something you didn't want to post, just go back and delete it. That's all you got to do. So,
right.
Well, figure it out. But we're here for you. Just definitely send us messages anytime if you guys have any questions about anything. And so thank you, Kayla, so much for being on here.
Yes, Kayla, thank you. Lee, thank you very much. Really appreciate
Happy
it.
to do it. So,
Sweet.
All right. Thank you, guys.
take
Bye.
care. Have a good night.
Bye.